Hey, what's good, dog? Today we're going to be talking about Taylor Swift and her new album, The Tortured Poets Department. Now, I went out of my way and took one for the team, and I really tried to finish listening to this album before making this video, but gosh dang it. 31 songs? I'm currently on the 21st song, so I don't know, I got most of the way there. Now, there's a reason why I'm showing you all that I have no respect for my own eardrums, and so we'll be getting into that today. But first, I've never seen so much hype and so much hate surrounding the same Taylor Swift album at the same exact time. But what's funny is that so many of the haters are outnumbering the Swifties, or the fans of Taylor Swift. So unfortunately, the only Swiftie point of views that I have here are these mainstream articles. Like we got the New York Times, Pitchfork, I don't even know what that is, NPR, and Rolling Stone. Now obviously I'm not going to read all these articles word for word because they're so long, it's just a big old yap session. Why? Well, it's because they try to break down the album. I guess they've been given like behind the scenes information on all of these songs and what they're about and what they mean. Now, this Wikipedia article that I found says, according to Swift, creating the album proved to her the integral role of songwriting in her life. She stated, "I have never had an album where I needed songwriting more than I needed it on Tortured Poets." In an Instagram post announcing the album's release, Swift further characterized the album as an anthology of new works and that reflect events, opinions, and sentiments from a fleeting and fantastic moment in time, one that was both sensational and sorrowful in equal measure. Okay, Miss Swift, Senorita Swift, Madam Swift, what does this mean? From my experience with listening to this album and paying attention to the lyrics, it really is true what Ben Shapiro said, a 40-year-old man. Taylor Swift writes like a 17-year-old girl that just learned how to write poetry. Taylor Swift is a 34-year-old woman with no kids and is not married, and she is writing these songs made for these teenage little baby girls, okay? But the point I'm getting at is this Wikipedia article is making her sound a little bit egotistical, maybe even very egotistical. Anyway, enough of what I have to say, let's look at other people's opinions. Critics reviewing Taylor's album, and then it's some Asian lady assuming that this is in a communist nation where nobody can share their own opinion. I can't unsee it now. And then there's Taylor wearing this Victorian or Gilded Era dress. It makes her look like a slave plantation owner. That's kind of funny. Within the song I Hate It Here on the album, Taylor writes, "We would pick a decade we wish we could live in instead of this. I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists." She wants to go to the 1830s, but without the Swifties there? I need her to be serious. You know what bothers me whenever someone brings up the 1800s? Literally, the only thing that they can get hyperfixated on is the slavery and the racism. And let me go on a tangent real quick. In my U.S. history class last year, we learned about all kinds of stuff throughout U.S. history from the beginning of the U.S. to towards the end, towards modern times. And when we were going over like the Civil War era and Reconstruction and Gilded Era, I try to think back at everything that we learned. And you know the main thing that I remember? The slavery, the racism. Because that feels like it's the only thing that we focused on. And to my surprise, there's much more that goes into the 1800s than slavery and racism. We got cowboys in the Southwest friends with all the Mexicans and natives. Are they racist? Heck no. So why does Taylor have to state that she would want to go back to the 1830s and then have to address, it's not because of the slaves or anything? Are we seriously going to assume that if you say that you want to live in the 1830s, it's because of the slavery? Heck no. You want to live in the 1830s because of the culture, not because of the black people being murdered and sold into slavery for whatever reason? Okay, anyway. If you're getting annoyed by a Taylor Swift fan, just upload this photo and watch them vanish. And then here's an old photo of her with this dude with a swastika on his shirt. That's kind of funny. She's not even that good at songwriting like y'all want her to be. And I'm not even talking about the lack of vocals department, because she hasn't served vocals in 20 years of career. I just don't understand the hype. Peak of mediocrity. Being white, releasing the same things, not changing the chord often, not knowing how to sing, not knowing how to dance, acting, and not having one person to warn. Like, no offense, but to be a Taylor Swift fan, it seems like you have to be completely unaware of any music that came before to see her as a genius. Putting poet in the title of this album was such a bad idea. Now everyone's so hyperfixated on the lyrics. No one is talking about how bad the songs themselves are. Here's another lyric from So High School on the album. "Touch me while your bro's playing Grand Theft Auto." So profound, so creative, so original. But yeah, overall, from the 66% of the album that I've listened to, I'd rate it like a 4 out of 10. Like, obviously, it's not bad music. It's just, it's not very transformative. It all sounds the same. The instrumentals, her vocals. It's like, what, or like, how do you listen to the same song 31 times? And that's something that really annoys me with music nowadays. Like, it's all just a cash grab. Everyone's making all these albums just to get the bag and stuff. And so there's no creativity. There's no effort put into any of this stuff anymore. Like, I think the best example of an artist that puts the most effort into their albums in, like, terms of advertising or music videos and just the production in general is bloody Melanie Martinez. If you don't like Taylor Swift, but you love pop music, listen to Melanie Martinez, okay? If you haven't already. But if she's not your style, then that's fine. But, you know, I'm just saying, Melanie Martinez is 1,000 times better than Taylor Swift. But why do people like Taylor Swift so much? Well, it's because her music is very safe. It's for basic white girls that don't feel like experimenting and discovering new artists, which apparently is a very large crowd, and so that's why Taylor Swift is so famous. There are so many people in the world that will only listen to a few artists, and the main one being Taylor Swift. And so, you know, she's basically holding a monopoly on pop music. That's actually kind of crazy. Why don't you guys listen to actual good music like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, or Deftones? Instead of listening to music made by actual Satanists, why don't you listen to music that Satanists listen to, but the artists aren't even Satanists themselves? It's just people thought they were at the time. You know, like, come on. Get cultured. Stop listening to these basic artists that don't change the way you view, I don't know. I guess it's about it for right now. Sub to the second channel, follow the Rumble, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and join the Discord server. Follow other social media. Bye-bye.